morning, everyone. Happy Friday. For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin in Colombia, where a recent purchase of equipment by the military there has raised eyebrows as the country's peace talks continue. Now, as our correspondent Natalia Margarito reports, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden communicated with the Colombian president about the purchase.
Colombia has recently purchased from Canada 32 armored personnel carriers at a total cost of $84 million US. For Senator Ivan Cepeda, the fact that such acquisitions happens during the ongoing peace process raises question over the role of the military once the country enters a post-conflict period.
It seems like a reconfiguration of the Colombian military and armed forces to what has been called the post-conflict period. But actually, more than a post-conflict scenario, it seems to be the beginning of an era of military conflict in Colombia, no longer at its borders or within its borders, instead with other countries.
In a letter U.S. Vice President Joe Biden sent to Colombia's President Juan Manuel Santos, he expressed hope that Colombia could aid operations in other countries. For Senator Jorge Robledo, this letter must be placed within the context of a series of military agreements between Colombia and the United States and the NATO.
An agreement with NATO has already been signed, and even though it was presented as merely an information exchange agreement, it has since developed further. A U.S. admiral was here informing that a Colombian frigate was scheduled to operate in the Gulf of Aden under NATO command.
For Robledo, the way is being paved for Colombian troops to engage in foreign wars, defending not just the interest of the U.S. and the NATO, but also those of the European Union, with whom a military agreement is already signed and ready for Congress approval.
What needs to be pointed out is that neither the European Union nor NATO are global communities, but rather organisms defending the particular interest of the European powers and the United States. So it is openly unconstitutional, as there is not even one article of Colombian constitution that allows Colombian troops to operate under the command of foreign powers.
In the wake of an expected peace agreement, the question that remains is which new task the Colombian military might be assuming and how this could reshape Colombia's foreign policy. From Bogotá, Natalia Margarita, Telesur.
Thanks to Natalia. In Honduras, Gladys Lanza is a very well-known political figure there in the region's feminist movement. But as our correspondent Gerardo Torres reports, she has recently been accused of defamation and could be jailed.
Honduras' most significant feminist leader, Gladys Lanza, has been accused of defamation for her denunciation of the public official Juan Carlos Reyes, who is alleged to have sexually harassed one of his employees. With Lanza facing the threat of being sent to jail, feminist movements throughout Central America have pointed out that this is a political attack by the Honduran state.
This is a political fact, not only because we are against the patriarchal capital system, but because we are trying to show a real situation for women that exists within the patriarchal system. We are representing our position as women with the right to express ourselves and with the right to denounce those who carry out aggressions against women. This is a political problem and one of our resistance against the system.
Gladys Lanza has been part of the Honduran political movement since the 1970s, and she has become a reference point for feminism in the region. Different movements have started protesting at Honduran embassies across Central America. The Honduran justice system has moved quickly to find Lanza guilty, but is not so fast when investigating the constant assassination of women.
We are worried because there is still a 98% impunity rate in femicide case. There is no interest in that. Trials are delayed, but they are really fast when they are trying to criminalize defenders of women's human rights.
Lanza could be facing 3 to 5 years in prison, but the region's feminist movement has declared unity to defend her and to stop the attack from the Honduran state. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
Thanks to Gerardo. In Brazil, the announcement of a new board of the state oil company Petrobras is expected soon. It comes after the president, Graca Foster, and 5 directors resigned over the corruption scandal affecting various Petrobras officials. Here's Doris Calderon.
Corruption is the word which for a long time has been associated with the Brazilian state company Petrobras, owing to actions by some of its officials.
Corruption has to be fought, independently of any of the facts, But the defense of Petrobras doesn't mean defending internal corruption. It means defending a public company owned by Brazilians.
This corruption scandal is being taken advantage of to demoralize the biggest state oil company in Latin America.
To stop Brazil's access to pre-salt, there is a big effort to privatize its exploitation. A big effort to privatize the Brazilian companies that are exploiting oil for the United States, Canada, Europe, and wherever.
To privatize these rather strategic sectors, as the opposition hopes to do, means handing over the country's wealth to foreign interests.
There is a big effort to suggest that Petrobras isn't very efficient, but it's the opposite. Petrobras is beating all production records. There were problems with the people, but not with the company.
The name of the new board of this important company is yet to be decided. This company that is vital for the development and strengthening of the Brazilian economy.
The change in the board of Petrobras has been announced. I think it's good because the board was incompetent. But it was announced that replacement was going to be done by the market, by market people. Overnight stock prices rose by 15.5%. It's clearly speculation.
Despite the problems, Petrobras operates a fleet of 326 ships, has more than 17 billion barrels of oil in reserve, 15 refineries, and 134 petroleum production platforms. Its size and complexity is clear. Doris Calderon, Telesur, Brasilia.
Turning to world news now, last night over 4,000 Greeks rallied in Athens to support the new Syriza-led government. Now, unlike previous demonstrations in Athens in recent years, last night there was no tear gas or street barricades. Just a handful of police were present as peaceful demonstrators showed their support for Syriza's anti-austerity stance. The show of support for Syriza came just hours after Germany demanded Greece stay the course on widely unpopular austerity policies and make further cuts to social welfare programs. Meanwhile, in Australia, the country's Prime Minister Tony Abbott could soon be forced out of office by his own party. Earlier today, Abbott admitted he will face down a leadership vote when his right-wing Liberal Party meets next Tuesday. The leadership vote was called by a disgruntled Liberal Party legislator who claims he was motivated by negative feedback from voters. Since being elected in 2013, Abbott's public approval ratings have been some of the worst for any first-term government in Australian history. Now, if Abbott is forced to step down, he will become the second Australian leader in just 5 years to be pushed from office by his own party. And finally, today would have been reggae icon Bob Marley's 70th birthday. And to celebrate, his family has launched a social media campaign aimed at raising money for a water charity called #ShareOneLove. The campaign encourages Marley fans to upload videos of themselves expressing their love for the world to social media. For every video, campaign organizers say they will donate $1 to a charity that provides clean water to communities in developing nations. More on those stories and others at our website. Check it out, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great weekend.